podcast number 6. Is that right?
Yeah.
So how are you feeling about this podcast?
Let's see. We got a special guest on here. We got my other son, Camden. He's been mentioned on this before. Just turned, actually 6. He's turning 7 soon, and happy to have him on here.
So we just get right into it?
Yeah.
Okay. What were you thinking the first time you held me and Camden?
The same thing. And the first time I held you guys, I felt weight. I felt responsibility. I felt heaviness, and in a good way. I remember the first time I held you guys, many things became really clear to me, right? So like what became really clear to me was how I was going to approach everything in life and how much it mattered. Because here I'm holding you guys as innocent. You guys can't help yourselves, right? You guys can't feed yourselves. You can't protect yourselves, all those things. And so I remember thinking it became clear to me how I'm going to approach my work, how I'm going to approach my marriage, how I'm going to approach my relationship with God, how I'm going to approach all these things became really, really clear to me. Because holding you guys gave me this it was such a blessing, right? Because it gave me this responsibility where I said, man, I can't be lazy in anything that I do. I got to be intentional in everything I do, because everything I do is going to impact these two things that I brought into this world that didn't choose to bring themselves in this world. And so, I don't know. Does that make sense to you how that would feel that way?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just a very heavy. I wasn't scared. I wasn't fearful. I didn't sit there and go, I don't know what I'm going to do or how I'm going to do this. Everything became really clear to me when you guys were born.
What was the biggest trouble you got into as a kid, and did you actually get caught?
Yeah, so I never got into like massive like legal trouble or things that were like really tough to come back from, but I was constantly in mischievous pranking trouble. And so to peg it to one thing would be really tough, but most things I did get caught in the end. So like one of the ones was we lived across the street from a cornfield, and I remember we would go out there and we'd have like corn fights, right? We'd throw corn at each other. And then we started to, like, as you do with your friends and your brothers, things start to get out of hand. I remember we built big corn forts, and by the time we looked up, there was like a football field of corn knocked over. And so, yeah, that was a pretty big deal, knocking down that much corn. Another one was we had a friend that lived down the road from us, and we TP'd him like 3 weekends in a row. And, obviously after 3 weekends of picking up TP, that starts to get pretty annoying. What about you, Cam? Have you ever gotten in trouble?
Like a big trouble?
Yeah.
Yeah, what have you gotten in trouble for?
When I forget. I think this one was 5 or something.
Just anytime you got in trouble. Everybody's at least got in trouble a little bit.
Well, maybe I think when I was 5, I sneaked into a little candy, and then at nighttime, and then I sneak in to walk on stuff, and then I sneak in stuff every single night.
You snuck into his candy stash at nighttime?
I just keep being like cheeky about you guys are asleep and I'm not tired.
Yeah, you are a nighttime snack person, big time, aren't you? Mm-hmm. Up in your room, you even have like a bag of snacks every night up there, right? That you're kind of hiding and stashing, and yeah.
I knew what your strategy was. First, eat all your candy and say, I don't have any more. And then Dad lets you take some of mine. And then at night, you take some of mine extra. So you just get
it's strategic, man.
All the most candy and all.
It's strategic, right? Right? It's a strategy. It's saying, I'm going to take from this bank over here before I dip into the bank that really matters, right? Yeah. Yeah.
I like at Halloween, and then a week after Halloween, you just see me take 2 little pieces of candy after dinner, and you see them take 5 pieces.
So okay, to be real, you guys blow my mind, because I as a kid would get like pillowcases of candy, and I would eat it like within a week. You guys still have candy from like Easter, and I'm over here, trying to hold my willpower and not eat y'all's candy, and I've been pretty good about it, right? But y'all are putting me in a spot. You got candy sitting here on top of candy.
There's only like 5 more pieces left.
Yeah, 5 pieces for months? What am I supposed to do? For a whole month not eat your candy? So I got to teach you guys a little bit about taxes. Eat some of that candy, you know. You guys got to pay that tax, right?
So that's why I'm sneaking in candy.
Yeah,
Trying to get access so I can't get candy.
for sure. All right, what's your next question? Enough about trouble.
That was the only question about trouble, I think.
Good. Good.
What else I forgot? What was your favorite subject in school, and who was your favorite teacher in high school?
Oh, easy. So
Yeah, I remember the
this is gonna sound lame. But man, I loved me some gym class. I loved burning off energy. I would go all out in gym, like gym championships, man. Like I'm telling you, like everything that we did, whether we were playing tennis or we were playing dodgeball or volleyball, and there was like tournaments involved, I was like, it meant everything to me. I remember like even like planning and preparing and like, so just always loved gym class. I really had a hard time, and the reason was I really had a hard time sitting still in school and just sitting there trying to like write stuff down. So I liked being really active with gym class. Yeah, loved it. Favorite high school teacher? Anybody that knows me well knows the answer to this question. By far was Mr. Long. I even had a T-shirt that said Mr. Long for president, and I had a signed piece of paper that I framed and put on my desk with his signature on it. What I loved about him was he had a really, really, really deep, dry sense of humor that a lot of people didn't understand. And so he was a math teacher, and I could not stand math, but he did such a good job of. I was on the edge of my seat looking for his dry humor. And just loved how much humor he had, and he made math fun for me in his dry humor. And it was almost like a Michael Scott type humor that I just really, really resonated with. So really liked Mr. Long, and so much so that, you know, I had a T-shirt for him to be president, and I kind of wish he was. So anyway, yeah, Mr. Long for sure.
Speaking of Mr. Long, in math, what was the most one of the a fun activity that you did, like in math,
In math, a fun activity.
that you did with him?
With him. So he was an algebra teacher. So I'm gonna be real. There was nothing fun in the math. It was never fun in the math. It was always the margins within him teaching math that he made fun. So like, it seems simple, but he'd stand up there and he'd practice a horrible golf swing with a ruler, and so it was just fun to watch him practice that. When kids came into the class, he'd have us all clap when he came in, and it wasn't because he had an ego or anything. It was just because it was just funny, right? And everybody saw it was funny. It was like we're all standing up and clapping with him coming into the class. But just a lot of things in the margin of math. Math with him, the actual math was never fun for me.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I get math. I get math fun, and probably the opposite way you do. And I think math is a thing that's that you need to be good with in life.
Yeah.
For
You're
most
naturally
things.
really good at it, aren't you?
Naturally.
Cam's got something to say.
about math about me is like where kids are just yelling out stuff. I try and overdo it. I just try and get them over it, and then when I talk, they're like stopping. I'm like, okay, probably I should just talk
Yeah.
about math, so they just stop doing stuff. And
Yeah. So you lock people back in by talking about math? You like math too, don't you? Yeah, you're a numbers guy?
but my teacher, she probably. Why is she doing shapes in first grade? Like it's preschool.
You
It's
have
like kindergarten preschool.
You have an amazing teacher that from day one you've appreciated. You guys have mom's brain with math. You guys got mom's brain, and you're really fortunate that your brain is more mom's than mine. I'm really happy for you guys. Truly.
Next question. What was the device that you thought was magic when you were my age?
Ooh, so this would have put me 9 years old. Oh my gosh, that was right around the time the first home computer was kind of coming into play. Yeah, it was right around 2001, and I remember we got this computer at home for the first time, right? Like an actual computer with like the internet and stuff like that. And I remember we had games on it that we could play, and to me it was amazing because I'm at home right now. not at school or anything like that. And there was this computer that I could get on. I remember I could download semi-illegally any song that I wanted to, right? And to me, this was like such a huge deal. Something called like LimeWire, I think, where you could download music. And I remember thinking, and it probably, if I got in it now, it'd probably be so slow because we had this internet called dial-up, where it would, I don't know, dial in or something. I don't even know how it worked, but now if I used it, it probably would annoy me because it would take forever. But I remember actually being able to play games on a computer at home. To me, felt like magic. Absolutely, it was crazy.
So, why would it be magic? Like, why would it be kind of like magic? Like, back in the day, you, like a lot of stuff. I can tell because you're kind of like me when I was a kid.
Yeah. So why? Yeah.
And I'm like, I can tell everything that you say, and I probably know a lot of stuff.
Yeah. You know a lot of stuff about me? Yeah, why is that?
Because I can tell when you're a kid. I hear stuff all about you, know your feelings. Probably just everything I think. My brain just knows.
Yeah. Because we're kind of locked in the fact that you're my child and our brains are very similar and we have the same type of psyche and stuff like that, right? Yeah. Well, I think you're pretty cool, so there's that. Yeah. All right, what's your next question?
What was your biggest fear you had growing up? Do you still have it now?
Ooh, and by the way, you're not leaving this conversation without telling us your biggest fear. Just going to tell you that right now. So growing up, what was my biggest fear? So I'll go kind of practical and also not practical. Like alligators and crocodiles, very unpractical. But those things, man, watching Animal Planet at like 3 a.m. and seeing animals and crocodiles, like death roll things, freaked me out. Like the thought of the fact that people in Florida go into water that has alligators in them is, to me, it's like, I don't know how you will yourself to do that. I know, it's crazy. So that's kind of an unpractical. More practical, though, was like, I always really was afraid of disappointing people. I did not want to disappoint people. I had a drive to not let people down or have people, disappointed or hurt or sad because of things that I did. So that was one thing I was more practically afraid of, and to this day still work through, of like just not wanting to disappoint people.
I thought you were gonna say wolf spiders.
I didn't know. No. Wolf spiders ain't fun. Like we're not gonna sit here and say, you saw the way I reacted to the one out here. Yeah. That one that basically chested me up, basically like confronted us at our house. We had a wolf spider walk up, confront us, and we had to deal with it. And so yeah, that is freaky.
Confront you.
What do you got, Cam?
So, like when alligators, when you didn't like people getting hurt by alligators? Well, you really probably just want to keep people safe and do everything that you need to do when you're grown up.
Yeah, for sure, man. I want people to be safe, for sure, from alligators. No, I don't want anybody getting death rolled by an alligator, right? Yeah. All right, Lachlan. I know you got one. You got to spill it, man. You got to let people know what you're afraid of. There's no judgment here. No judgment. No shame in this.
I hate worms. Every single time I see this long pink thing on the ground, I'm screaming, I'm running, I'm doing anything I can do to get away from there. There's this tingle in my body, everything just in my body just like tingling. Get away from the worm. I hate worms. Put a worm in my face, wiggle it around. I cannot even hold one or use it on a fishing pole, even if the fishing pole will rip over there.
Yeah, it's just there, right?
Well, about monkeys, about my nightmare is like, when I see a monkey, my brain just like says, pass on, do something else.
Yeah. Not a big monkey fan, are you? Isn't that funny? Alligators, worms, monkeys, things like that. Things we like. This doesn't make any sense, but hey, we all got those things, right? All right, what's the next one, man? We're already flipping the page.
Yeah.
Ooh.
What was the decision of your life that completely changed it?
Easy. So, this was 7-8 years ago. I was working in business, working in automotive, and mom was pregnant with you. And I always had this pull to get into education. And we had this situation happen at work on a Friday that finally put me over the edge. I remember coming home and God convicted me very heavily of making a career change into education and said, hey, I know you got a second son on the way. I know this is going to be a huge risk, but trust me and take steps forward of faith, and I will provide for your family. And at that time, I didn't have a degree in education, right? I had a great career going for me in automotive, making good money and all that. But I felt such heavy conviction. I came home to mom, and thankfully, she was on board with it. She's like, I've been waiting for you to make this decision. Let's go. Let's roll. And so from that moment forward, I learned something. I got a piece of paper down. And I said, because I've always looked at making that career change as such a big mountain to climb, right? Like anything we do in life big like that, there's a huge mountain you're looking at. And the thing that God kind of brought me back to was, I want you to write one thing down every day that leads you to this. Don't look at the mountain, look at the next step. And so I got a piece of paper out every single day. I had a list of items, and every day I would pick one thing on that list. Rewrite my resume. Look at jobs you can do before you have an education degree. Look at the school. Like literally, I did one step every day. And what that showed me was one step of faith a day, and consistently having one step of faith a day was worth so much more. And every step I took led me to that awesome career that I have now, something that I feel God led me to, and I'm really, really grateful for it. So I learned from that. If you're looking at a big mountain and you're staring it down, focus onto that one step every single day that leads you down that, and it's so much easier to tackle those big mountains. By the time you look up, you know what you're going to see? I'm on top of that mountain that I was asked to climb, and I don't even know how I got here. It's pretty cool.
So your message is, if you are trying to challenge yourself, don't look at the challenge itself. Look at the steps to defeat the challenge.
One step at a time.
What do you feel like when Mom was like praying to me, and I was like, and I didn't really like this feeling.
For what?
Like when Mom was praying to me, what do you feel like? And I didn't really like it.
I absolutely love when Mom prays for you. I love it. I love it. I love listening to it. I love hearing it, because I know she and her faith and her relationship with God is protecting you, and she's guiding you guys in an amazing way into that. So I absolutely love it, buddy.
Well, when you were like thinking like about when you like that time, you probably liked about everything about her.
Yeah.
How she does stuff, and
Yeah.
probably you guys are a good team here doing stuff.
Yeah. I think, so is your question about how I feel about Mom? Yeah. I love
And how
Mom.
you feel about me and feel about Mom.
Yeah, I love Mom, and I feel really good things about Mom. And I think I want you guys to understand that the most important relationship you're going to have outside of God when you grow up is the one you're going to have with your wife. And choosing somebody who's not perfect but is aligned with you on the most important things like faith and how to raise a family and all that kind of stuff is really important. And she is totally in line with that. And so I think really, really highly of your mom. And she does such a good job with you guys and growing you guys. And you, I see a lot of her in you, right? And so when I see that, I think the same thoughts about you and your potential and who you're becoming. And I get really excited, you know? Yeah. You got any more questions on here?
Yeah.
All right.
If you could have dinner with someone from your history, what would you talk about and what food would you eat?
Ooh. would it have to be somebody that I know personally?
So somebody you used to know or you know right now.
Okay. And I could have dinner, and what would I talk about? Man, if I could have dinner with somebody from my history, and I could talk about anything, I don't know. Nobody really comes to mind to me that I wouldn't sit down and just have dinner with right now and have a conversation. So it's hard for me to say.
I thought you'd answer that, but I didn't know what answer you'd say.
Yeah, I
wasn't expecting that.
I don't know. Normally I can think of something, but right now on that one, I don't have anything. But I will say this. I would love to sit down with any dads and have conversations about raising kids and raising families. And this is the kind of conversation I love to have and what I feel a convicted calling to do is to have conversations with dads and help make their families better. That's what I like to do.
Not everybody has an answer for everything.
It's true. I usually don't have an answer for most things, to be honest.
Bonus question.
All right, is this Cam's question?
This is Camden's question.
All right, Cam. Ask your dad, man. Here you go. What's the question?
You want me to read it for you? You're the one who's going to be... If he asks you a question, you got to answer it. I'm not going to say anything.
Fire it.
What was the funnest time you've ever had with us?
With you guys specifically. Oh, my goodness. I love going on those little weekend trips we'll go on where, like, we'll go to Port Huron or we'll go to Grand Haven. When we go on those little, like, 2-day trips, one night in Airbnb, and we stay together... And we do the simplest things, right? Like, and very relaxing. Like, we went to Port Huron. It was so simple, but we went and we left really early. We ate brunch, and this one just comes to my mind. And you guys played on the beach. Remember we went up in the lighthouse? We went downtown. We went to a little museum over there. It was so simple. And then we came home really, really late at night. You guys fell asleep in the car. And I just love going on those weekend trips. Do you guys like going on those? Or like when we went dog sledding? Or like when we'll go like, on a weekend trip in a little cabin somewhere and we'll just hang out as a family and we'll just like have a bonfire and stuff like that. So the simple little things like that I do with you guys, nothing brings me more joy than those Friday, Saturday little weekend trips. What about you, Camden? Do you have something you can think of where like a memory where it's like, oh man, that was the most fun? Other than tag, because I know you love tag.
I just like about you when you think about us and find out ideas and trying to learn about us, figuring out like what emotions, so you know what to do.
Yeah. Do you like you? So your favorite thing is like when I learn about you and that helps me help you a little bit more. Yeah, I'll try to do that more often, buddy. Okay.
The last question. That was the last question.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, we got another one? What, we got another one?
I just had time to squeeze this one in. I just thought it. I was literally writing it down 5 seconds before we started. Ken gave me the idea, so thank him. When did you get your first phone, and when will I get mine?
Listen up, parents. Listen up. I want you all to lean in on this one. You ain't getting your first phone that has access to the internet for a very, very, very long time. And the reason that is because there is a whole world out there that you guys need to be ready for before you have access to it. So we are in a time where we have so much information. We have an information-rich time, right? And I really, really believe you guys should not have unmonitored access to all the information in the world before we're able to have a lot of conversations like this, so you guys know, and I can set you guys up, and I can guide you guys. And that is for your protection. There's a lot of scary things out there that is on phones, right? And so we'll have that conversation, but I'll be honest with you. I'll give you a phone to talk and text and call and text like that, probably like a flip phone, probably when you get to middle school. But as far as a phone that you're going to have access to the internet and the world and all that, honestly, it's going to be a while. And it's going to be when you're ready to handle it. It's when I know you're going to be ready to handle it. We're going to have a lot of conversations ahead of that point for you guys to set up safeguards. Okay? There's a lot of things. And you guys might be the last ones to get it. And I'm okay with that. It won't bother me a bit. Any other questions on that?
No, no more.
Cool. Well, thanks for joining us, Camden. It was really fun having you on here. We're definitely gonna have you on here as a guest more often. Will you join us more often?
Sure.
Yeah. Any final words for us before we check out?
No. Fine.
Awesome. Well, we'll talk later. See ya.